Welcome to In Hindsight, where we showcase local New Mexico businesses and events. And we also talk about the hot topic of the day in Are You the A-hole? And I'm your host, Day.
I'm your host, Angie. And I'm your host, Dina.
And like always, we always have Octo and Rito. And I know it's winter,
Yes.
but like, I feel like people are just like, oh no, it's gonna take forever. But I feel like it was just Christmas, right? And it's like now it's like
Yeah.
January, and it's like before you know it, because we're like I don't think any of us are in the season. But like last year, I had to go to 2 weddings
Uh-huh.
because like my younger friends are like in that time now. So like before you know it, it will be summer and it will be wedding season,
Yes.
and it's like I love wedding season
Yes.
because it's like I love getting invited to weddings. Cause like it's just so pretty. I don't care if
Well, it's a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, because like, I just feel like I don't care if like half of those are gonna end up not working out, but the party is fun.
That's right.
No, but I think like because like right now with like the different trends, like with like different wedding trends, because like now people are like having like really interesting theme. Because like I have like a Pinterest, like I do follow all the social media. So people are doing like TV show themes, like I don't know if you heard about like Bob's Burgers and Game of Thrones, and like they're having like, we've always have like classic theme, but now like people are really getting really creative.
My son had a wedding, Beauty and the Beast, at the Botanical Gardens. Oh my God. I was just in awe with the gardens in the summer, of course, and outside. And yeah, Beauty, she was in a big, beautiful beauty dress, actually themed for the actual show. I talk a lot about Disney, don't I?
It's okay. You have 3 Sharknadoes
Right.
under
Right.
8, so it makes sense.
So that it was the most beautiful wedding I had ever been to. It was so much fun, and yeah, but there's also smaller weddings. Like, people are doing these little small weddings throughout New Mexico, where they find the little chapel, right? And they have like themes inside the chapel. As a matter of fact, my husband and I, we got married down in Old Town, in a little on New Year's Eve. And they had it decorated, and there was a little chapel. It was beautiful. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah. So like we are like showcasing like 3 different locations, but I feel
Okay.
like the thing is like New Mexico has like some beautiful sceneries because we're only showing Taos, Santa Fe, and Albuquerque. We're not even showing like different places. I feel like there's so many places in Albuquerque that is like so picturesque and like scenic because people are into big weddings, but people are also like doing like you said, like mini weddings.
Yes.
And some people, they're just having weddings by themselves.
Right.
And then they take like beautiful pictures.
Right.
Because they don't have a wedding party.
Right.
So like they just spend the whole day just taking beautiful wedding pictures, and that's their wedding. And like I see like these little picturesque like wedding dresses, long, short, like themed. Like people are doing like Halloween weddings,
Yes.
so they're like wearing like different colors, like black, red, purple, blue, or like they have different, now. And it's also big now where like people change from like their wedding outfit to their reception outfit.
Right. That is a big deal right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
Well,
it's
it's been a big deal for a while, but I mean, it's a big deal now. They're really doing that. Trend is way in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's like we're living in the gram, era, Where like weddings are already expensive. It doesn't matter how small or how big it is.
Right.
Weddings are expensive, period. And it is like not just like the one, it's like you only do it once. Even if you don't do it once, it's a memory you want to treasure.
Right.
And it's one of the days that like we look good. You know what I mean? Like I know I look good in my wedding, so like I do want to like memorialize it with pictures.
Of course.
Right? And it's like I feel like New Mexico, like honestly, because you guys know where I live, like a lot of people that drive in the like around on the west side, like whenever they drive in our area, like on Sunset, they're always like, I always forget how like beautiful like the mountains are, like around your area. It's just like people forget that. So like and then you have like the balloon festival, and we have like balloons all year. Like I've seen people like have like they are getting married in the balloon or like proposing.
Yes,
yeah.
You
that's
know what I
always
mean?
beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. So I just think like it's so people are. I mean, it's not like weddings are never been innovative, but with the time of social media, it's more accessible. You know what I mean? So like we see how people do their weddings, right? It's not just in New Mexico; it's everywhere else, and definitely like scenic pictures are definitely an eat. I mean, it's not just for weddings, right? So like I mean, and like like you're supposed to book like a wedding venue like what like a year or two ahead,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So it's like it's getting. It's not that wedding locations were already not competitive. It's been competitive,
Right.
but it's getting more competitive because like I said, it's like we have like expectations now. We have the gram, we have our social media, so it's like being an influencer now is like so easy than it's ever been before. And a wedding is like $1 billion business. Like people be making kaching, they'll be like, and I feel like weddings are like one of those things where like people are paying people.
I
when it comes
definitely
to
like
weddings.
a themed wedding. I like the fancier wedding though.
Yeah.
Even if it's small, I like the real fancy dress up, just all, just really look good.
What is that thing where like you do like a recommitting ceremony, like you get remarried, not like remarried, but like a certain anniversary?
What is that thing called?
I know.
Oh
It's
my
like-
God.
For some reason, I can't
A
think.
recommitment?
No, it's
That's
not
what-
a
well, that's
like
what it's
you
called
get a
now.
remarriage.
Vow, like a
Yeah,
vow
vow
renewal?
renewal.
Yeah, vow renewal.
Vow
yeah.
renewal. Yeah.
Some,
so like
some people do it like every year.
Yeah.
Every anniversary.
that's what
Yeah.
Heidi Klum was doing that with
Yes.
one of her exes. Like they would like have like a different thing like every year for like a wedding.
Right.
Or like if you have like your 10th anniversary, your 20th anniversary kind of thing, and like people have parties for you. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like every 10 years have like a theme wedding.
I
renewal
think, I
thing.
think
Do it
it's
every 5 years.
absolutely.
Oh.
Because I wanted to get married, like, for real. And then I wanted to have a destination wedding. I wanted to have all these, and I could never know. I never figured it out. And I'm like, well, every 5 years, let's do it again. But of course, without all of the
Fuss, yeah.
hubbub, and
Yeah.
maybe we'll get some cake for ourselves. But
Yeah.
and it wouldn't be real anyway because we're already married. You
Yeah.
know, so
No, but
even
like,
if it's in another country, it's still going to be.
yeah. No, I've always thought about it, and it's like,
It's always a great party.
yeah.
Okay? It is always a great party.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I feel like weddings are like getting more, and like I said, it's like with the advent of social media, there is a thing of like competition. You
Is
know?
there really?
That's ridiculous, though.
Yeah, and I don't
get it.
I don't think it's healthy, but I think it's also healthy at the same time because like, to me it's just like when I had my wedding, because like I had to go to like 9 weddings before I had my wedding that year.
Yes.
I'm not saying like I went to like 9 weddings, and no, that year I had to go to 9 weddings and then my wedding, right? So like going to those 9 weddings, I realized expectations and reality, because literally I would come home to New York and I will tell my husband, be like, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, because I'm not doing this. I just went to a wedding that did that. Like the money and the preparations and the planning and all that stuff. It gets very, because like, weddings are beautiful, but it is also stressful. So like every single friend that I have for like the weddings, I always tell them like, hey, if you need a no person, I will be that person.
Right.
I will be your bouncer. Because like my friend in New York that got married, she's very introverted and very, very sweet. So people tend to go to her,
Yeah.
and literally I'll be like, no, she's busy. Or like, what do you need to get done? Like I would tell those people what need to be done, what need, like, you know what I mean? Because you need that person. And the only way you know that is by going to other people's weddings.
Right.
And I think that's what it is. It's just like, I never thought I'll ever get married. So I never dream of a wedding. I was never that kid that like dream of weddings, because like I'm Catholic, I'm Filipino. Weddings are very sacred to us. Like in
Right,
the
of
Philippines,
course.
there is no divorce. There's no such thing as divorce. So like when I went to like family weddings growing up, they are big, and they're like celebrations. It's a whole day event. This is not like, when they say it's just like be there, like, no. This is like like a 4 a.m. to like a 4 a.m. kind of event thing.
Wow.
And depending on where you live.
That is so great. Yeah. I would love that party. Can I go to the Philippines?
Yeah.
I want to go to a wedding in the Philippines.
I'd fall asleep.
I need to be invited. Oh, not me.
Sleep for like 2 days.
I'd be nosy. I want to know. I just want experience. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah, and
like
it's
soak it up like a sponge.
That can be our next team building activity.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have like a wedding renewal. So even though I already had my 10-year anniversary, we barely even do anything for our anniversary. But I think it's just like I said, it's just like, and also like there's a lot of expectations sometimes with like weddings. And sometimes there's a lot of drama because like, people will be like, well, can I invite this? Like, why don't I get a +1? Because like that's what like my friend like realized that like, oh, like most of my friends now are actually like, they're not just dating people, they have fiancés, and I can't like not invite them. But then if I invite one friend, I have to invite the other friends because then they will be like, well, why is that person allowed and not this person?
I wish I had your problem.
Like, you know what I mean?
Nobody wants to show up to my wedding.
That's crazy.
No, yeah, it wasn't like, I mean, seriously, like weddings weren't in, like people didn't really want, you know what I mean? But it's great that you have people that want to show up for your wedding.
Yeah, no, it's just like, I mean, like the budget that I have was like really, really great. But it was stressful because people were just like, well, just DIY everything. But this is the problem with DIY
Yes.
is that people don't forget is like, what do you take in exchange for the money? Time.
Right.
Energy.
Time and energy.
Time, energy, and then, I don't know, but if you're a perfectionist or you want things done just right, that's time.
Yeah.
And it's stressful.
Yeah. And if you have like a full-time job and children or, like you can't, there's only so many hours in a day. It's not infinite. Right? So like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that I did was like DIY, but it took me a lot of time and, like it's a different type of stress. Money is a different type of stress. Time is a different type of stress. Family is a different type of stress.
Appointments, meetings, cake tasting, food tasting, appointment, and even...
You guys are going so fancy. I never got cake tastings or anything.
Didn't you just say that you did all these different kinds of weddings?
Well, yeah, but we didn't have professional things like that. I mean, I might have picked up a little cake. But...
She just like, I bought a little cake and I wanted to dress up.
Yes.
Oh, so you had to... Okay, we're talking about DIY, like flower arrangements, candle arrangements.
Yeah, my first wedding, I did all
the
flowers and stuff too, but...
So then you remember all that.
Yeah, I didn't like it. It was so stressful.
Yeah, I end up having to do my hair in my wedding because like my hairstylist didn't show up.
Mine didn't either.
Yeah.
What?
So
I never had one.
Yeah. So it's just like, that's like, and like, but that's what I'm saying is like people think like it takes a production.
Yes.
To do a, and I can see why people elope.
Yes.
I totally get it. Because I'm also Asian, so it's like Asian weddings sometimes are hard because there's expectations and stuff. But I always tell that to people now and to my
what
friends.
What kind of expectations? Like really?
Because you have to invite.
Like what do the parents do?
Well, the thing is like it has to be like a certain standard. You have to invite like specific family members, you know what I mean? Because like they'll be like, well, why did you invite this cousin when you invited this cousin? You know what I mean? It's those things. But like, because I never really wanted a big wedding after going to 9 weddings, because I wasn't even doing the preparations. My friend was doing it for me. So literally when she was just like, well, what about utensils? And I'm like, well, what do you mean utensils? If people's got to eat. And I'm like, we have to pick those. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're going to change this whole wedding because like, I'm not doing this. This is too much.
What about your dress?
So like, I got lucky. So like a friend of mine did my dress because she was a fashion student in FIT. And then like,
so cool.
Yeah. So like, and then like a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, but like he's like an acquaintance and we know each other. He is actually a professional photographer and he was like, oh, you're getting married? I'll do your wedding pictures for like $100. And I'm like, why? You get paid like $3,000 for like an hour or so. And she's like, yeah, but I know you, and I like taking pictures. Like, I'll do it for you because you're like a friend of a friend. Right. I didn't ask him. He literally volunteered. And I was like, I'm not going to say no to that. And then another friend of mine that does like photography for fun. She did it, and then I had like a Dropbox, so like everybody sent all of their pictures of that day.
You have good friends.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So like I mean I got really really lucky for my wedding, but also like the thing is like we got married in the city hall before we had our wedding.
Oh.
Because I didn't really want a big wedding, but my husband doesn't trust me. Like he doesn't think we were gonna get married because we were engaged for 3 years, right? And then he was like, we were gonna have like our friend officiate the wedding, like one of those like thing. And it's like, well, what if it wasn't legal in New York? But like I really wanted just us. And then we had 2 friends, so like we went to City Hall. It was a little, we video like the wedding in City Hall. It was a little 17 seconds for us to like exchange rings and everything. And then we went to like a diner, and like, you know, I made my own bouquet, and like my 2 friends who were witnesses. But I think the thing that I liked about that, because like we had our intimate moment, because we were wedded, we were married already, and it was just me and him.
Yes.
Right? So it doesn't matter how horrible the wedding is gonna be. We're already married.
You guys already got through it.
Yeah.
What did you have at the diner?
That's
Did you have
perfect.
pancakes?
Yeah, we just had like,
I knew it.
We just had
'cause I
like,
had pancakes
we
right
had
after
like,
I got married.
we just had like breakfast, you know, and that kind of stuff. So it's like, but I think also it's hard because people tell you like, oh, just relax, enjoy the day, and it's like, you can't, because you have to talk to every single person. And we had like a very informal wedding too. So like when we go to like formal weddings, like you don't really have time to yourself. You don't have time to see your friends.
Right.
And that's why like when I went to New York to see my friend, I made sure I went a couple days earlier, and I helped her made her little tiny bouquets. And then like couple days after the wedding, we had lunch, and she was like, you were so right. I was so glad that like we hang out the day before, because I talked to you for like 2 minutes, and I was like, I told you, because literally you were talking to each single. She had like 100-person wedding.
She did.
So I'm like, there was no way you were gonna see me for any longer. You probably don't even remember what I was wearing that day. And she was like, no, I don't. And I'm like, exactly, because like you've been so busy running around, taking pictures, eating, dancing, doing this stuff. And it's like I said, it's just like wedding is a big commitment, and I understand why people elope.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with eloping.
No, it really
as long as
isn't.
you're with the one you love. You know? I mean, seriously, I think people do that now just because of finances. You know, like, I mean, honestly, if I have kids, I have talked to each one of my children, and it's like, do you want to spend this much money on a wedding, or would you rather put it on a house, or you know, the truck or the car that you need, and still have a celebration, just not as, but you know, it's their dream, and if you do it once, you do what you want. You did what you wanted. I mean, like my son, when he got married to his wife, they did what they wanted, and you know what? It was just beautiful. When I had my dance with my son, I couldn't stop crying, and it wasn't because I was sad. I was just so happy for him that he had his dream, you know? And I don't know. I think weddings are beautiful, big or small, but all of them have drama no matter what.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, there's always the drama.
Yeah, because like our hot topic is like we don't actually have to segue to it because we're talking about it. Because like weddings now in social media, I know like it shouldn't be a competition, but like sometimes people forget that like people put things in social media, the big events and the happy events. We don't see the behind the scene, right? We don't see our day-to-day life. Even like the day-to-day life of social media is not real. Like there's a lot of memes now, right? You know, like, hi, I'm like a social media, and I'm like 102 pounds. Like, you know, I eat pineapple juice for breakfast, and then I have half an egg for lunch. No, I'm like 106 right now. I'm trying to get my but like what I'm trying to say is just like, you know, like, because like there was like a really big this person made a social media just for her wedding.
You're kidding me.
No, I've heard of that.
And she only posted her wedding. It was a $1 billion wedding. It was opulous. I mean, opulous is not even a word. She had an orchestra.
This was a friend of yours?
No, it
I
grew
don't
up.
have my phone right now to look at what opulous
I'm gonna show it to
means,
you.
but please tell me.
Opulous is just like over the top, extravagant,
Okay.
you know,
Opulent.
ridiculous. you know, like very diamonds and pearls kind of feel.
Okay.
So like it's $1 billion wedding. She literally made a social media just for her wedding, and that was it. That's the only post she has, was videos of everything that she has on her wedding.
Wow.
Like where the location was, how it was decorated, where the cake was, how many people there was, who was there, you know, because like they were like.
Okay, can I get you off that? So, the girl,
Yeah.
this one girl, she wanted a box. Like, she wanted just to pretend it was a cake and then have a cake in the back. You know, I had to say that's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. A big old flamboyant, what is it?
Opulence, yeah.
Opulence, beautiful wedding, and you're going to have a fake cake? I don't think so. That is not happening. Not with me, not ever, because it's the dress, the cake, and the party. You got to have that. Those three things if you have it. And I bought the cake because we had to. We had to have a cake because I wasn't going to do the. Have you heard of that? Where they put that stuff over the boxes and make it look like a real cake?
No, because like cakes are expensive.
They
So
are.
they're filler.
Was it
So
like
what it is like the
$2,000?
second.
Rice Krispie treat, I think, isn't it? That they put the
No, it's
fondant
just
or
no.
whatever?
It's like
Fond-
it's a literal. Well, they used to do font. So what they do is like, so you know how like you want your wedding cakes to be like tall and big.
Yes, yes.
But they're expensive,
Right.
and like sometimes how big the cake is too many for how many your party is. But you want to look, you want it to look good in pictures when you're cutting in the videos and stuff. So what they do is like they would do a filler and then they would do fondant on that specific cake. And
Right.
they make sure like it's either like in the middle or on the top where you don't cut it. So like when they, because you know they take away the cake or they cut the cake, you don't really know that it's a box.
Right.
Right.
So like it's in your budget, but it still looks good on videos.
Right.
I know what you're talking about because that's big now too. Because
Well,
like
here we save the top of the cake for the next year. So you take it home and you freeze it, and then you celebrate your first year anniversary. You cut it and whatever. That's how traditionally the families I know have done it. So that is why I said, how are you going to save this? You know, but I didn't know the filler. That makes sense.
well, I didn't have a wedding cake for my wedding because it was in Central Park. So there's like there's a really fun fusion bakery where we were living. It was a Mexican French bakery. So they had this like really soft, pillowy like bread, and it's sweet, and it had this like white cream filling in the shape of a heart. So I bought like I you know did the catering for those because everybody can have their own like thing, and I don't have to bring home the cake back to my apartment because it's just a pain in the butt. It wasn't close. It wasn't walkable distance. Or so I have to take a car and then balance and then I have to bring plates, and I didn't want any of that. This is just a pastry. Everybody can have one for each other, and it was it. And then we can throw it in a box because it's just a white box. So and that's what I did. And it's like because also like in China or like in other Asian countries, people are making weddings of themselves.
What?
Yes, I need to show it to you. So it's them, like it's like them, like almost like mannequin style, but it's cake.
Wow.
So they cut onto themselves.
That is so
That'd be
cool.
a little weird.
I like that. That's
I feel like
creative.
I've seen that on a TV show somewhere, like on one of those
Yeah, it's like random
reality,
Yeah.
you know, over the top shows.
I think that's cool. I think everything is over the top nowadays. So
Yeah.
I mean, why not? But I wouldn't like.
Cutting onto my own self.
Well, yeah.
But it's the same with the cake that people put their pictures on it, right, for your birthday.
Yeah.
It's like you're cutting in my face.
That's like that old movie, The Still Magnolias, when he chops off the butt of the armadillo and it's blood red. And she says nothing like a great piece of ass.
But yeah, but it's just
But
like,
I mean,
yeah.
human being. I mean,
Yeah,
how
but-
do they do that?
But like I said, it's just like, I think like with the social media, it becomes like a competition. I mean, is it healthy? Not really. Because like people also are like going into debt,
Right.
right? Because like weddings are expensive. You can't expect a specific vision without, without the bill, right?
Right. But then you start your married life out in
In
debt,
debt.
which I don't get at all. Like, put it towards the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
put
I
it
didn't
towards
like
something.
do that. I didn't do that. I
didn't
I
either.
didn't do that. That's why I had a small little intimate wedding. And even then, that's why I said there was drama. I'm not going if you invite so and so, and I'm not, and I like people were putting rules on my own wedding.
Yeah.
And I'm not that person. I cannot say, oh, okay, or like be like you, take.
Yeah.
I just feel
Come if you
bad.
want.
And I don't,
See,
yeah.
Don't if you
Speaking
don't.
of that, that's like a perfect segue to
Okay,
our
cool.
Am I the A-hole? Because like you already said, right? It's like you don't want people telling you like what to do on your wedding.
Right.
So this person is that person. So
Okay.
so the topic is, am I the A-hole? My fiance isn't on the save the date of the wedding I'm in. So this is
What?
like a +1 thing. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'm a bridesmaid for a friend's wedding in May this year. There are 19 other bridesmaids. Oh yeah, that's the thing too. People have like more than 20 bridesmaids.
That's crazy.
So
You have more than
there
20
are
friends.
19 other bridesmaids, and me and the girl getting married have a falling out of touch throughout the year. So I'm actually shocked I was asked to be a bridesmaid over FaceTime. I haven't seen her in a year and a half. I gladly accepted because I thought, how fun, and we could rekindle our friendship. I just got to save the date, and my fiance isn't on it, or my name plus guest. I'm a little concerned because there's been an ongoing issue. I was dating a guy in college, and he was dating a girl in college. We both dumped the other, and my friend, getting married, hooked them up together after me and my fiance started dating. It's been a rocky ride since, because my friend is now great friends with my fiance's ex, and she never wanted us to all hang out. My friend knows my fiance. We all went to school together. They met multiple times, and my friend knows we lived together. I just feel uneasy about him not being on the save the date. I was texted a month ago by a wedding platform from the bride-to-be, and I was told to fill out only my name and address. So I assume this is where she got the data for the save the date. My fiance didn't get a text. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt of just using the names and addresses from that and not editing them, but I'm still worried with the whole situation. Am I the a-hole for being upset he's not addressed? I'm planning my own wedding this year, and I can't imagine not checking at least my bridal party invites to make sure they have a significant other or guest. Should I wait for the formal invitation to see what's going on? And what did she say? I don't want to ask my fiance because if he's invited because of the say the date, but it just seems rude. I do need to know if he's coming though, because we have to fly to the wedding. If my fiance is invited to the wedding, I think that would end the friendship for me, and I wouldn't go to the wedding or be in it.
I agree.
I agree with her.
No. You don't leave a fiance out.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be like you being left out in pictures. It's like that. I mean, no.
If you don't have money, scale down your wedding, but you have to invite, if somebody's going to be in your wedding, they're, paying for their dress, they're paying for their shoes, they're paying for they're putting a significant effort into being there for your wedding. I mean, they can at least have their significant other with them.
But that's the thing, is like you said, it's just that this is my, like I said, I always play like
Go ahead.
But it's
Go
just
ahead.
like you've seen the show Bridezilla, right?
Yeah.
Like you see that show and you're just like, how, like why are you expecting so much? But it's just like, this is my wedding, this is my day, I have planned for it, and either you come or you don't come. Right?
Yeah.
This is my special day. Because I have read like this is not even the worst. I have read Reddits where like brides asking people to dye their hair.
What?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Bridesmaids.
Like, like dye their hair, lose weight, wear specific clothing, wear specific shoes, like have like because like it's aesthetic.
Oh.
It's all aesthetic, right?
You want to know how crazy my wedding was? It was so crazy. I didn't have a bridesmaid until the very last minute. She saw that I didn't have a bridesmaid, so she made herself the bridesmaid, which I thought was amazing. So, we had a best man and a bridesmaid, and I didn't expect it, but it was one of the most, moments where you don't expect something good to happen, but it does, and I was just grateful. But I have never had a bridesmaid problem, so I can't really say too much, but I know that if I were getting married, I have my fiance, and if he's being left out, I wouldn't know what that reason was. I wouldn't know why he's being left out. And it's not just like on the save the date. It's on like everything. She's saying, he's being left out on everything. So is he invited or not?
And she needs to confront her friend
Yeah, she
right
needs
away.
to make a phone call and say, hey, is my fiance going?
Because it's probably because the fiance's
Ex-girlfriend
ex-girlfriend,
is
who's
close.
now better friends with her, doesn't want him there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it, and she might be one of the bridesmaids.
And it could be a
I
hookup.
bet she is.
Yeah, but the thing,
Ew.
but the thing also that's like really interesting to me, about like the bridesmaid groom situation is that how do you find 19 friends?
I
And
know
they have people that come to
that
your
can do
wedding.
this.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, are you Jesus? Because there was like that meme joke, and there's just like the real miracle is like having a man in his 30s having 13 close friends.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right, that's
Because
a
the thing
real
is just like,
miracle.
because like that is a theme now too. It's like people have like so many friends, and don't get me wrong, like I'm a pretty social person. You know what I mean? But like, and I get it. It's like aesthetic, but like, pictures takes forever already. You know what I mean? If you have like 5+ bridesmaid and grooms, how long are your pictures?
Right.
You know
It's
what I
a good
mean?
2 hours just for even 6, 7.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
if you do like what is that? There was like there's a thing that's called the golden hour, because you like there's like a specific time, right?
Right.
Because you pay for like to pay like for photographers, for wedding photographers. There's a special accommodation for the golden hour. You pay more because it's like this perfect time of like
Light and
light.
lighting.
Yeah, it's like
all
the
of that.
sunset thing, right? That's why it's called the golden hour. But that's also limited. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If you have like 19 bridesmaids and groomsmen, like, when are you taking your pictures?
Why don't they start
Let
a
me help
new
you.
thing?
You know how I told you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't it make sense to have do all of the stuff like the day before? Like all the pictures and all of that? Because I don't want to do that on my wedding day.
I never understood.
I think it's the makeup, the hair,
Yeah.
everything is fresh.
Yeah,
that's why.
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so the wedding I did at the Botanical Gardens. I didn't do it actually. I was just there. I was present, and I saw how beautiful it was. But it got interesting.
Ooh.
You get like all this wedding party.
Yeah.
It
'Cause
just
there's,
so happens to be in June, the hottest day of the year.
Yeah. And we're in a desert.
Right? And I don't mean to laugh or anything, but I mean, it was one of those things where, Murphy's Law hit. You have people fainting. You had someone fainting up there, one of the groomsmen, one of the bridesmaids, and almost the bride. It was now it's funny. Back then it wasn't. Everybody's like, no, this can't be happening, but it was happening. And so, it's like, because the party was so big, all the bridesmaids, grooms, and it took time for the pictures, like you were saying, all of that stuff. So yeah, you have to be careful on those things.
But that's the
one
thing also, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just that, like you have, like, I don't know, like, it's really interesting to me how like American weddings are set up. It's like, why don't you guys have pictures before?
They do.
You know what I mean? Because like, no offense, but like the weddings that I've been to, I'm lucky enough that like I'm not starving, because like I have something to eat. But sometimes it's just drinks,
Right.
and it's like, or like
It's just the
appetizers,
price.
and you're just waiting there for 2 to 3 hours. And also like what you're saying is just like, if you're going then by yourself, right? She said like they had a falling out. They're just rekindling their friendship. If you're going there, you don't know anyone, waiting for 3 hours. Who are you gonna talk to? I
Right.
mean, yes, you can be on your phone for 3 hours, but then like, how lonely is that?
It's
And
pretty
you're
darn
sitting
lonely.
there,
But a
yeah,
lot of
with-
people don't get lonely with their phones nowadays.
I know that,
know.
but still, it's like, it's so weird and
know.
awkward to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she already said that like she wanted to rekindle the friendship, but then like, it's also a little bit selfish for the bride to just be like, oh, I'm just inviting you, right? I'm not inviting. And I understand if it was just like a boyfriend, because I read like another Reddit where like this guy, like a brother, right? And I feel like I'm just adding more things to it. So like his brother would like change girlfriends every couple months or so.
Right.
Right? And he told the brother that like, hey, I mean, whoever your girlfriend is not going to be in the pictures
Uh-huh.
because like my pictures are forever,
Right.
Right.
And you know, they told their parents that because the parents are paying for it, right?
Right.
That like you know, hey, if you allow him to have a +1, that's it,
Right.
right? Like that picture is going to be forever.
Well, you know, she should have talked to her friend before she even asked her to be a bridesmaid. She could have said all of that to her, like, I don't really want your boy. I mean, and she could have said it nicely, you know, just hanging out and not like boom, boom, boom. I don't want your boyfriend, that kind of thing, or your fiance. She could have just nicely told her, I have already. How did we do it? It's like the groomsmen have already been picked by the guy, and the bridesmaids were picked by the girl. So whoever you end up with is because they decided who was going to go with who.
I know, but it's just like I am a little bit curious because like the thing with the Reddits and all the dramas and stuff is like we're only getting like a very small perspective of the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like why does the girl have 19 bridesmaids in the first place? Like is her future husband had that many friends? Did somebody dropped out last minute? Because she did say it was through FaceTime. And usually when like you invite your bridesmaids, like it's usually like personal or like, you know, most of the weddings that I went to that I was a bridesmaid, I knew I was going to be a bridesmaid.
Right.
You know what I mean? The invitation was more the formal thing.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I knew that I was going to be a bridesmaid. So like my friend in New York, she didn't have any bridesmaids because she didn't want to deal with all that stuff. And I understood that, but she was like, you know, if I had a bridesmaid, I would choose you. And then I was like, no, it's cool. Because like we went to NOLA, we went to New Orleans 2 months before for her bachelorette. So I told her, it's just like, listen, this is your wedding, do whatever you want. Her wedding was beautiful. And it's like, I told her, it's like, you got to do what's like best for you because she's also introverted. She didn't want to people feel left out and feel like they weren't important enough for her life to be a bridesmaid. But she also didn't want it to be big because like pictures and stuff, you know? And I can understand that. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's just like, I understand both sides. Like, this is my wedding, right? But I can see her why she's not going. But like you said, it's just like, because like also like when you go to weddings, you don't wear your bridesmaid dresses at all most of the time.
Right.
It becomes
that's never going to happen.
You know, it's like a one-time deal. So when I got married, I literally told everybody, like everybody wears black. You have a black dress, you have black pants, you have black shirt, great. And even with that, I got like bombarded. Oh, what about this dress? Do you think this dress? I'm like, this is the reason why I told you guys to wear black. 'Cause I literally don't want to make any more decisions because it becomes a mental load. You know, like they want to match and, you know, like they want to look good. And I'm just like, are you wearing black? Great.
Well, because they know what they look good in, right? If it's all one color, pick your own dress. They know what they look good in. They know what they feel good in. And you want them to feel good. You want them to be happy that day. At least that's how I would see it. I don't know how anybody else would, but yeah.
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 But I do think that's just like weddings, like you said, it's like it doesn't matter how big or small it is. It always causes drama.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, even when you're not looking for it, if it's not drama with people, it's drama with food.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, you know, I've been to a wedding where the cake...
Well, because the thing is, like, also, it's just like, even in my wedding, I didn't even realize it because I wasn't even paying attention. Because, like, 50 people is a pretty good amount of people still,
Yes.
you know? And then I had friends coming to me and saying this, like, hey, so-and-so was wearing a white dress and so-and-so was wearing a white dress. Did you notice it? I'm like, I didn't even think about it. Because, you know, like, I'm just like, I'm so busy trying to check list off of my brain of the mental load. You know, I mean,
who cares?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't care, but also, like, that's the thing also is, like, wedding shows you who your friends are.
Yes.
I did lose some people after
You know
that
what
wedding.
I would like to see? I know I'm going back to Disney again, but I do want to see a Frozen wedding. You know, whether she's dressed like Frozen.
Look at
beautiful
you need to
Frozen, beautiful.
You need to download Pinterest.
I do. I have Pinterest. I just got Pinterest.
Go look for Frozen weddings.
See, I had to look for new hairdos because I'm having issues right now, but it'll work one day. It'll be fine.
I don't know what you're talking about because every time I see your hair, I always tell you it's beautiful.
Oh, well, thank
You're
you.
insane.
I was just saying, you know, I did go on. I joined Pinterest for once, and I actually did it, and I'm enjoying that, saving it, pinning it, you know, just like really having a good time.
It's like a little poster board in your phone. So it's also dangerous because she's like, oh, this is cute. Oh, this is
Right,
cute.
and
This
I
is
want
cute.
that. Or you know, Amazon's also scary. Amazon with Pinterest is not a good idea because I look back and forth and it's like, oh God, I found it. But it's just one of those things.
No, and you know, and like I said, it's just like weddings are always interesting. Even though like we're not in that age of like, you know, discussing about weddings, but like I said, it's like I have younger friends that are like getting married or about to, so it's just like seeing that on their lens and like how they're doing too, and then eventually like you have grandkids and stuff, you know, like when they do their wedding, I wonder what kind of stuff they're gonna get into, what kind of trend they're gonna be
I'm
in.
even wondering if weddings are going to exist
Oh,
by the time
I feel
they
like
grow
it
up.
is.
Because it doesn't seem as though a lot of people get married.
But people like partying.
Yeah, it's like
People like parties.
a lot of what because of the age, okay, they're 20s and going down. None of them are talking about children, marriage. They're talking about college. They're not talking about families. They're talking about just enjoying the world. And
I've seen that too.
I can understand.
Yeah, and I'm glad. They need to go out and experience stuff so
Well,
that they
of course.
can be happy.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just
Yeah.
talking about marriage. I hope it doesn't find a way to not exist. You know what I'm saying? I just hope it doesn't, because.
I don't know about marriage, but relationship
But if you
always
have,
exists, yeah.
well, in my realm of people, there's not a lot of marriages anymore. It's rare. It's not like it used to be where, you know, you were going to a wedding every single month of the summer and spring.
Oh yeah. No, I'm the same. It's the same with me, and it's the same with, because I have a younger sister. She's in her 30s, so it's like what you said. So like, well, what do you guys think? Like, what are your opinions? You know, what are your like wedding opinions? If you guys are New Mexico local businesses, or if you're any business that you guys want to promote, or you want to, you know, show events and be on the show, please contact us. Follow us on all of our social media. And if you have tea that you want to bring in and pull into the show, we like tea. Give it to us.
We would love to help you work that out.
Yeah, you know, give us something to discuss.
We will use your name. You can be anonymous.
Yeah.
It'll totally be anonymous.
It's only anonymous. Unless you don't want to be anonymous, we can make that happen too.
I
That's
don't
true.
know
That might be a
anything
little
about
more
the tea
tea.
thing, but okay, I agree.
Yeah.
What's the tea thing?
It's the tea, like the drama.
the
just
drama,
like
the
the drama.
aspect.
Got it. God, I'm learning so much.
Yeah. But this is for this week, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.